Remember, if a fire breaks out in your home, always test the door first. If it's hot, find another exit or yell for help.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe!
Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest action figure video podcast. So take off your pants, crack a beer, and let's talk toys. Let's talk about G.I. Joe's Barbecue. Oh my goodness, this was not a figure that I was planning on getting. No sir, no way, no how. Why? Because I thought that in the packaging, he looked a little bit cheap, plastic and toyish, and then I got him in hand and I realised, oh no, Dave, you're a dum-dum. This guy's awesome. Let's talk about him, shall we? First of all, you got the box, and it's no surprise what it looks like. I love the uniformity of the G.I. Joe styles, then with each one having its own unique little tweak. In this case, we've got a really wicked looking picture of Barbecue here. I know that on some of the boxes they go for like an animated style. Sometimes they do different sort of looks and motifs. This artwork on the box looks wicked. It's just like is it Major Blood? Yeah, it's Major Blood. I kept saying Baron Blood, but that's the vampire that Captain America beheaded. Totally different thing. But Barbecue, he looks awesome. So much so that not being that familiar with my G.I. Joes, I thought this was a villain. I thought Barbecue was like a bad guy, flamethrower type pyromaniac sort of person. It wasn't until I actually did some reading I was like, oh no, oh he's a good guy, oh okay. No, Gabriel, Barbecue Kelly, he's a good dude. And he's not throwing flames with his spooter, he's putting them out with his spooter. Because at first I thought, well that's weird, you've got a flame-throwing guy without any flames? That's rubbish, boo Hasbro, boo! And then I realised, oh no, wait, no, that's flame retardant, foam, water, whatever it is that he's shooting out from his backpack, which we will get into because it's awesome. So as I was saying, at first glance in the box, he doesn't look impressive because there's so much bright orange going on here. I like bright characters, but when there's so much of it unbroken, it looks a little bit plain and plasticky and just a little bit cheap. And I thought, well, that's going to be the case. It was only because he was on special offer that I actually got him, but I'm so glad I did. Thank you, Forbidden Planet, for putting him in the sale there. And also thank you, the people on Instagram who responded to my story telling me that I should buy him. You did God's work right there, because this dude has got so much going on. I adore it. So the actual sculpt itself is really, really pretty. He's got all the different sort of textures on his jumpsuit. That's really nice, because it's not smooth. The actual orange jumpsuit here has a little bit of a roughness to it. So it actually feels like it's made out of a proper material. Little touches like that, oh, they go the longest way. They really, really do. Then his boots here as well with the different straps and buckles on there. Little extra nods and detail. Again, being G.I. Joe, everything is movable, separate, an individual mold that has then been attached to the central figure. That's so great! Here you go. I'm going to just show, for example, he's got the holster for his spooter. So that can just sit there and move freely on his thigh. Similarly, he's got the holster for his axe, which sits here and the axe clips into it. But if we take the axe out, look at the detail, the amount of work that's gone on here. You've got the little spikes on the handle. I mean, that's actually pretty gnarly. You could mess someone up with that. If you're not going to give them a machete to the head, you can put that on as a pair of knuckle dusters and just whack some poor Cobra goon in the chops with it. I would not want to be on the other side of this. But you can just see all the extra little details on the side of the blade, the little circles and screws. It's just so much work, so much effort. Hasbro, this is a labor of love. These G.I. Joe figures are a labor of love, and it shows. It really does. Even the knee pads being a different color. You didn't have to do different color knee pads, but I'm glad you did, because it breaks up the orange. So you've got this wonderful, vibrant, fiery orange, and then with the red accents on here, it makes it look even more like flames and fire crackling up. If there was some yellow, I thought, oh, that would have made it look even more flamey, but then maybe too much. maybe that would have been more like Pyro from the X-Men. It would have been more comic, more cartoony, and I like the more real world kind of look with this. Then also going into his kind of midsection torso, you got like the regulator on his chest. I assume it's like an oxygen regulator type thing, because I'm guessing that's what the mask and everything is. It's like a fireman going into smoke-filled environments. So you've got the little dial on there, and then all the different bits that go around his waist and his torso, again breaking up the orange, giving more depth and style to the design of the character. Moving up to this wonderful chest armor. The chest shoulder piece, I think, is in a slightly different grey, and that makes it look more real. It's not just the same plastic out of a single mold. We've got the black on the regulator tank here, and then we've got this more gunmetal kind of grey, and that looks terrific because that extends up to the helmet itself. And it's just, I just can't get over how much attention to detail goes into these, and it really makes it hard when I see other figures that don't have that. And maybe budget restraints are different, but just when it's done well, it's done so well, you know what I mean? Of course you know what I mean. You're action figure collectors, you appreciate this stuff. Speaking of stuff to appreciate, he's got his over jacket. I'm not really sure what to call it, but like his body warmer almost, which is in this deeper, darker red. So it's not even just orange all the way around like I thought it was when I saw him in the box. It's orange on the legs and the arms, but then it's a deeper, darker red around the body, and there's even scuffing and marks and damage that's on here. Like, he's been wearing this stuff for months and he's been through the wars, and it shows. Like, gosh, love it. So this is just going to be an episode of me gushing over this guy, and I'm not even mad about that. So let's just take a little look at the axe here, the fire axe, which, just like the smaller one, it's got all these little sculpted details on there that just bring it to life. Then with the different silver on the sharp blade edge, it looks like it would actually like you can actually hurt yourself on that. Then we'll come around to the head itself, and that's just kind of a wicked masked head. I mean, there's not really much to go with on that besides the fact that it looks cool. It looks kind of like a cyber man in the iron mask version of a Mortal Kombat ninja, and I'm fine with that. So yeah, the face mouthpiece covering that in the shiny chrome silver, then with the darker head, that's awesomeness. Oh, that's one thing I'll say though, the axe, it does clip in place, but you can knock it off quite easily. So I'm worried that if I remove it and take it in and out too many times, then this holster clip is going to get wider and wider until it doesn't stay in. But you know what? I'll confront that when it happens, because right now you can see I can just pop it back in and it's not going to be too much of a problem there, as long as I'm aware of it. It's kind of like teaching me not to be a clumsy oaf, which, let's face it, I need all the help I can get in that regard. So then we go around to the oxygen tank, or not oxygen tank, but like a foam tank, whatever it is on his back. And this is where, again, 5 stars. 5 stars, Hasbro. Look at all the little sticker details on here. You've got the different warning signs, the kind of things that, I mean, my terrible eyesight can't really make out too well what they're showing or displaying, but they're proper actual safety images. That's so much work and effort that it could have just been a throwaway thing. But they thought, no, it's like they look for where they can put more work in. It feels like so many figure lines, sometimes the kind of the modus operandi is, what's the cheapest, easiest way we can do this? Or where can we cut corners? Whereas with G.I. Joe, it seems to be, how can we go the extra mile? And that just makes such a difference in these figures. So the oxygen tank on the back there, well, I keep saying oxygen tank, I know that's not the case. That would be a terrible firefighter. It's a fire, let me give it more oxygen. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. But yeah, that just looks wonderful. And then we've got the hose that connects around to the spooter in his hand. That is the technical word for it. It's just adding so much more interesting stuff. It's an interesting figure to look at. There's so much going on here without looking cluttered. And that in itself is not an easy thing to do. So even just little extras, like he's got a little pocket pouch on his arm there, across his bicep, like it's the 90s. And of course, that's in a different color too. So much work, effort that has gone into this. He got the little symbol on the side of this other strap on his right arm. I'm not sure what that symbol indicates. Maybe it's part of the division that he's in. Again, I don't know my G.I. Joe lore that well. Again, you see, the axe came off because I was going all fumbly bumbly with it. So something to be aware there. And I think from head to tail and tip to toe, I've pretty much covered the entire figure, and can you tell? I absolutely love this guy. So yeah, guys, if you are on the fence like I was about Barbecue, don't be. He's absolutely fantastic. And just to go over the articulation, like I don't tend to do very much, you can see he's got the double jointed knees, he's got the double jointed elbows, he's got the waist swivel. There might be a torso ab crunch in there, but you can't do it because he's got too much armor on here, which is not surprising. So I think, because this is an over piece that goes over his torso, probably the torso itself does have the ab crunch, but you just can't use it. And honestly, it's not exactly a deal breaker, is it? You can put this guy in a great looking dynamic firefighting sort of pose with the waist twisted and the head facing where he's going to be shooting his spooter at the flames. He just looks awesome. Now, another interesting little thing is that some folks have told me that a head swap with the unmasked Captain America head works well on here, because apparently Barbecue Gabriel Kelly, that's kind of what he looks like. He's that kind of blonde-haired, blue-eyed, all-American looking dude. So that makes for a really fun head swap that you can do if you want to have an unmasked version of the character. Also, what I've done is I've given him the flames that came with my Storm Collectibles Scorpion, and just look at that, man. That just looks awesome. That is Barbecue looking amazing. I freaking love this guy. One of my favorite Joes, easily, no question about it. You see how well he fits in with the display. All he does is make me want to buy more action figures, and that is exactly what an action figure should do. And that is my review of Gabriel Barbecue Kelly, a wonderful addition to Hasbro's G.I. Joe line. All I'm saying is, bring on more of them, because I am loving these. So folks, what Joes am I missing? You've seen my collection, you've seen my Cobras as well. What are the essentials that I still need to get? What are the hidden gems? And what are the new ones coming out that I should be on the lookout for? Comment below, let me know. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Coffee.